Hello and welcome to When Wagon Wheels Were Bigger, the podcast that they drink in the Congo, like on Bongo. On Bongo, they drink it in the Congo.
That's what I've heard.
My name's Mark, and with me as always is...
Martyn.
That was Martyn yet again. So for any regular listeners, if there are any, this podcast we look at old TV shows from our youth, so it could be a cartoon or a live action, as it is in this episode. And we kind of comment on them, remember things from our youth. I offload a load of personal trauma, and we see if it's funny or not. And this week we're looking at Supergran.
A very British show again, isn't it, Supergran?
It's, yeah.
I wonder how many people outside of the UK would even know anything or have heard about it at all. I wonder how many people inside the UK will even remember it. It's got a brilliant theme tune, though.
It has got a brilliant theme tune. Sung by Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
The Scotch comedian.
I know you're doing that deliberately as well.
Doing what?
Scotch.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it was sung by Billy Connolly. I think it was written by him as well. I seem to remember.
I think so, yeah. I mean, or at least co-written. Yeah.
I'm not going to look into it. I just remember he sang it. But yeah, Supergran is the one today. So,
yes.
Did you watch it as a kid?
I did. We're talking about weird, not fears and things, I suppose, in other episodes. But I wasn't scared of it, but there is something a little bit unnerving about.
But you had a feeling in your tummy.
No, not that kind of feeling. Not a Carol Drinkwater feeling.
Callback.
Yeah, you get plenty of those. But no, I don't know. There's the scene, because the episode we're watching, we should say, is not episode 1. It's quite difficult to find episode 1. This is episode 2, Supergran and the Skimmer. But in the scene in the first episode where she gets her superpowers, it's really odd. Like, did you watch the clip that where she gets her powers?
Yeah, it looks like she's having an epileptic fit.
She's
maybe
sort of
having
shaking,
a bowl of Ready Brek.
Her arms are out in a weird sort of undead. Like she's like a zombie having a seizure.
Yeah.
And maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was a childhood fear of mortality without knowing it. But she used to be a little bit weird. Anyway, I found the whole thing a little bit weird, but I'm sure I did get past that and enjoy it, because I do remember the odds and ends about it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching it. I don't remember if I enjoyed it or not. It's I probably enjoyed. I mean, I do remember all the words to the theme tune.
Oh, it's a good theme tune, though.
But that's more to do with my slightly autistic connection to the 80s years, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember all the theme tunes to kids shows from the 80s.
But that was when... God, what an old man thing I'm going to say now. But that was when theme tunes were good. That was when, you actually did get good openings to things, and I don't know, a little bit more care was taken over an intro or an opening.
I think I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, think of one from today's children's shows. Don't try and think about it, because you might think of one.
Yeah, no, I'm just drawing a blank now.
There aren't any, that's why. Don't even bother
any.
looking, anyone who's listening, because there aren't any. From the 90s, or the noughties, or the teenies. Is that what we're in now? I don't know.
I don't know, the twenteens.
The twenteens.
Is that a thing? It is now.
It is now. Anyway, shall we watch Supergran
well.
and the Skimmer, 1985 episode uploaded by Dylan Fagan? It's the full episode title.
Entirely the only way we ever watch anything is via YouTube.
What? Say what? Okay, I'm ready to watch in 3, 2, 1, now. So the first thing to notice is the Time Tease logo, which, as we've briefly looked up before we started recording, this was mainly filmed in Newcastle.
Yeah, in and around, and South Shields, and yeah.
Which you'd assume, because obviously Supergran is wearing the most Scottish outfit she could. I always just assumed it was based in Scotland.
I thought so too.
But
I was hoping you were going to sing along with the opening theme there, because you said you know all the words.
Oh yeah, I do. There's, this animation is a lot worse than I remember it being, actually.
It's awful, yeah.
But basically, so that was her main villain, the Scunner Campbell. And what's Scunner mean?
Scunner, for anybody with access to UrbanDictionary.com, has several meanings. Some of these might be slightly more modern, but a scunner is a Scots word for something that makes you feel sick. It also is something which is a downer or depressing. For example, missed the last bus home and had to get a taxi. Cost me 20 quid. What a scunner.
Right.
Or a menacing youth with very bad dress sense and uncouth nature. So it seems to be also used in the way that we would use the word chav as well. So it's got several meanings, but all of them are sort of a negative. One of them just says twat. So there you go. That's that's Urban Dictionary.
If it says the twat Campbell. But yeah, so ultimately it seems that the Scunner Campbell was responsible for the creation of his own worst enemy.
Yeah, because obviously the recurring character Inventor Black, from what I gather of other clips I've pulled together from episode 1, is that he creates that magic ray, and the Scunner obviously steals it and accidentally creates Supergran.
So what's the Scunner's ultimate plan?
He's just a troublemaker. He likes being evil. He's just one of those sort of villains that doesn't really have any particular goal.
Do you know, this postman that's watching after her, all I could see in my head was like a Carry-On film bloke going,
well, you reckon that the actress who played Supergran was a bit of a looker in her day?
Yeah, in her day, not now. Well, definitely not now. She's probably dead. But
this was her day. 1985 was her prime.
No. Is that Robert Rankin?
He does look a bit like him, yeah.
Inventor Black looks like the once talented and now slightly off the boil writer, Robert Rankin.
I can't comment really. I haven't read anything of his for a long time.
No, I haven't either, to be fair. Sorry, Robert. If Robert Rankin is listening, I apologise. I'm quite a big fan of yours. Your best book was Dog Called Demolition by a country mile.
These actors, see, I think we both had the same false memory that everybody in this was Scottish.
Yeah.
But I think it is really only Supergran and the Scunner, because this girl is the most Geordie girl I've ever heard talk.
Is Inventor Black preempting Kanye West there with those glasses?
I would think he should take some credit for that.
I think he should
that
as well.
Style choice, yeah. I'm
going to admit that I didn't watch this episode before we are recording.
Oh, you missed a treat.
But I have seen it before. If you are watching along, up in the corner it says Old School Weekend, and I can't remember how many years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, ITV was reminiscing about CITV, children's ITV, and they put on a load of old shows like this and good shows like Danger Mouse and Camp Duckula, and terrible shows like Spats, which I would not recommend anyone watching ever.
We're definitely doing a Spats
We are
episode
doing
at some
Spats.
point now.
I think it was the 90s, so I don't think we can.
Oh,
I think it's
no.
beyond our remit.
That's a shame.
But we can always look it up, and if it's in the 80s, we'll do Spats. I hated Spats.
I remember hating it, but also watching every episode.
Oh no, I watched it. Well, I imagine we probably watched it after school. It was probably in secondary school. We watched it after school together,
every
like a
day.
couple of losers watching kids' TV when we were teenagers and should have been
I'm
smoking.
glad we don't do that anymore.
Smoking of drugs and drinking and alcohols, like proper teenagers did.
Yeah.
What is this car? What's the point?
So this is the
Supercar.
Skimmer.
Oh, this
the
is the
Skimmer
Skimmer
from the title of the show. It's basically, well, he describes it as, the way he describes it first, it sounds like it's just a hovercraft, but then it can fly as well. So it's like a sort of garden shed. If you can't see the visuals, it's like a garden shed with a mattress underneath it. And there's some very bad blue screen effects coming up where it'll fly, and sometimes it's clearly just on the top of a lorry being filmed from a low angle.
or just the camera kind of panning down. Here we go. Wow.
So there you go.
This is exciting stuff.
flying.
Are those cannons on the front?
I hope so.
I hope they're t-shirt cannons.
This postman's having a
Billy Bunter.
he feels like he should have a bottle of something that he should then look up and look back at the bottle and then just throw the bottle away.
Yeah, I think that's really flying.
It is flying.
This is.
I think that is just like a small model. model shot. There's a lot of different. Look, that's just on the top of a van.
It is, isn't it? There's a lot higher a minute ago.
Yeah. But they're doing the best they can with limited resources.
Where can you actually buy smoking jackets? Just looking at Inventor Black. And hats like that. I kind of want a hat like that for when I'm just chilling out in my hood.
In Chiselton, that's where you can buy smoking jackets like that.
If only it were a real town. So far, not a lot's happening.
What do you mean they're flying the skimmer? And this policeman is going to arrest them for some reason.
I kind of hope he's going to get run over by that
lorry that they're on top of.
God. I
Lots
think
of people
if there's
just
any
pointing at
decade that dates a show in terms of how people look, it's the 80s, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Big sort of moustaches and...
I mean, I know the 70s, 60s, I know all decades have a look you associate with them, but something about the 80s...
Yeah.
I don't know, just...
Some of it's worryingly coming back.
I know, it's horrendous.
I watched, again, sort of... I was watching with my niece an episode of Funhouse on Challenge TV the other day, and she was amazed at Pat Sharp's high jeans and said, but people are wearing them like that again now.
Pat Sharp's a trendsetter.
He was.
There's a great one
20,
there. I mean,
30 years ago.
We're going completely off Supergran now because not a lot's going on.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, they played American football. What the hell?
I don't know.
This is great.
Or if you're in America, football.
Yeah. But it is American football because football...
It is American
I'm not
football.
a fan of football or soccer, as you call it in America, but it because it's, a British thing, it's football.
And because it's more about feet and like touching the ball, whereas in American football it seems to be that it should be called carry ball.
I was just going to say carry ball.
I think we've probably had this discussion before. Probably.
No, but I didn't see it, but my wife watched an episode of Funhouse with the kids the other day, and in it one of the kids kind of mocked his haircut, and apparently as a result he didn't help them in any shape or form, was really shitty with them. Just because normally at the end quiz he kind of helped them out a bit, but he really didn't. He's just like, well, you've done any answer, no, you've lost, sorry. Just kind of that's it.
Oh, did they lose? Because I don't remember anybody ever losing on Funhouse. It was always an easy question.
Well, they didn't. No, well, this one did. Oh, look, the fat kid's got to be eating because that's unbelievable.
This the guest villain in this is you haven't watched it, have you? So
no, but leave it as a surprise.
I won't ruin it for you.
Oh, please don't. There's a Scunner Campbell.
See, I don't know if the Scunner, if he's some kind of like almost like a mercenary, or he sort of does it comes up with plans for other criminals, because in this he's like
Moriarty.
He wants the skimmer, yeah, but much shitter.
He's like a consultant criminal before Moriarty. Well, not before Moriarty, because Moriarty was before this, but I mean the modern Moriarty.
Yeah, that sort of thing. But he's after the skimmer because he wants to sort of sell it or rent it. I can't remember.
He wants to grow tomatoes in it.
Supergran using her superpower of being old enough to remember that this policeman used to be a boy and was a shoplifter or something when he was a kid, so he lets her off.
Yeah, because
I can't remember what he did wrong now.
I'm sure that would affect his police career.
Yeah.
If there's one criticism I've got of British police, it's the stupid hats they've got to wear. I mean, I know there's. If you look at I think the police in Finland and like the Scandinavian countries, they've got really stupid police hats as well. But those dome hats are really ridiculous. I think. I just like the flat caps. I just think they look cool. I like American cop uniforms.
Yeah.
I'll admit to that. He's eating again.
That's all he does.
Do you think it's the Brad Pitt School of Acting where he's always got to be eating something in every scene?
Maybe Brad Pitt saw Supergran and thought, this kid is how I want to act just like this kid.
This kid is a fucking genius. Oh, it's Boone.
There you go. Michael Elphick.
Oh, and also, in a previous episode, I think it must have been terrible because we talked about Never the Twain. Well, the guy picking up the phone now was the ape man I was referring to.
What just went past almost unnoticed by us there as well was that this criminal, on the front page of a newspaper, it says that he's planning his new crime spree.
Right.
And you think, well, if that's on the front page of a newspaper, really he probably shouldn't be planning it anymore.
No, I think
or the police should be asking him some serious questions.
He may need to change his plans. So yeah, at the moment, anyone who might not be watching, Michael Elphick has been introduced as the guest villain, and Michael Elphick, of course, is most famous, definitely most famous, playing Ken Boone in the 80s TV show Boone. Which was about couriers or something. I don't know.
Or something. Was he a crime-fighting courier?
I don't know. He just rode a motorbike with Neil Morrissey.
Yeah.
And there was some other bloke in it and a woman. It was a good show.
It was good. Had a good theme. Don't remember much about the actual show.
No, I don't. But the theme tune was great. The theme tune actually is, again, I know all the words to it. Because there was something seriously wrong with me, but I think we established that in previous podcasts.
If nothing else, what we're doing is piecing together why there are so many things wrong with you over the course of these podcasts. Yeah,
I kind of want a skimmer now.
Yeah.
What have they changed? They've chained it to a statue of Queen Victoria.
Yeah, so they remember where they parked it.
I don't think you're going to forget where you park a skimmer, if I'm honest. Well, is the skinhead guy in this one?
No, I don't think so. What, you mean one of the Scunner's
yeah, the old
lackeys?
man who is dressed like a neo-Nazi.
No, I don't think he is. Because Boone's in it instead.
Oh yeah, of course. You Scunner. Oh, he said it.
He did say it. I knew that was coming as well, so I'm glad you...
oh, that's brilliant.
You preempted him.
Oh, so you don't need to watch this. You just know it's going to happen. You twat. That would have been funny. That's a horrifying statue of Queen Victoria. Is it Queen Victoria? It looks like Queen Victoria.
I think so, yeah. I was just going with it. You sounded like you knew what you were talking about, so I didn't want to question it.
Oh, why didn't they just fly it away? Oh, that's the lawyer that's been on the whole time. It's Queen Victoria, isn't it?
Just shake your fists in, but that's not even like an angry fist shake.
It's not.
It's like she's cheering.
Oh, he ain't nothing but a gold digger. And they're supposed to be windscreen wipers on the front. Do you know what they look like?
Yeah.
They look like the goggles they wear. This comes up a lot as well. The Oompa Loompas wearing Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, they do.
Again, I could be wrong.
Let's say you're
not.
No, I know what you mean. She just shouts to the sky for Supergran. Supergran!
Why I had away and the shite.
This music, or this, not music, but that sort of sound effect is used in a lot of things as well in the 80s.
Yeah.
That weird, I don't know what instrument must make it. I don't know if it's a, it's not a stylophone. What were they called?
No, it doesn't sound like a stylophone.
No.
Why are they playing American football? Shouldn't be allowed. Really shouldn't. Basically,
Do they use the special effect behind her now when she has that sort of white shadow following her when she runs fast?
Probably. It's essentially rugby, but rugby for guys who aren't tough enough to play rugby and have to have shoulder pads and helmets.
Yeah, it's rugby with protection.
Basically, American football's a big wussy sport where they've got to have all big padding. If any American football player wants to come over here and tell me otherwise, I'd rather they didn't. I mean, I don't care about any sport, so, you know.
She's not really using her super speed
there. We go.
Oh, now she is. Yeah.
That's just a horrible 80s top of the pops effect.
Apparently, though, she did do most of her own stunts, so that probably was her on that skateboard.
I think there was a shot earlier of her on a skateboard. It looked like it could have been her. What's she doing with her hands? What's that do?
That's sort of, I don't know, she seems to have, like, she can see what's going on, like, either very far away, or she's got sort of psychic powers or something.
What?
When she does that.
How?
I don't know. That's not the stupidest thing that she's done.
No, that's true. Letting them get this skimmer. She should have been guarding it.
Well, it was chained up so well.
It was. Now, I'm guessing that he's going to drive that now to the antique shop and see if Donald Sinden or Winsor Davies can put a value on it.
See if they need a shed.
Oh, now boy. That's my Winsor Davies impression.
Oh, that's good.
You may remember it from episode 11, Terrorhawks.
Do you know, there were loads of guest stars on this show as well, because Michael Elphick, I was quite surprised to see Michael Elphick anyway, but apparently George Best was in it, Spike Milligan was in it, Roy Kinnear, a personal favourite of ours, has been on Supergran.
What is this Supergran? Some kind of an in-joke that no one else will get.
Yeah.
Basically, I'll explain it. Basically, in Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory, which clearly is a favourite film of ours, Roy Kinnear plays Mr. Salt. Is that right? Veruca Salt's dad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the number of times we remember him saying, "What is this Wonka?" Some kind of whatever, where the whatever equals something quite obvious normally.
What is this Wonka? Some kind of fun house?
Yeah, that's
that
it.
kind of thing. Yeah.
But it's just everything he's in. We kind of imagine him saying something like that. So I imagine, what is this Supergran? Some kind of skimmer? Well, it is literally
that is what it is, Roy. Yes, it is.
Patrick Troughton's final television appearance.
Oh,
that's kind of sad.
Not this episode, though.
Not this episode. Yeah, he's just in the back. Okay. He's just walking past in the background.
He was driving the lorry.
Beep beep. I'm Doctor Who. Not anymore, Patrick. Now you're an old man in the scary box of delights. Poor Patrick
Scunner is feeling sick because he's on the top of a lorry and he doesn't like it.
Oh, but apparently Tyne T's executive Andrea Wanfer said that they used to do all the special effects with trampolines and things. That's a good insight into the show. Wow. Insightful.
It's just like an offhand comment. Trampolines and things.
Like crates and,
cardboard boxes.
Old newspapers. Is she going to jump off the roof? Wow.
Yeah. Well, not very far.
Well, it's not a roof, really, is it? It's a turret.
Oh, it implies that it was high. Okay.
But then she's inside. Well, I'm just feeling let down by this whole thing now.
Only now.
That's the kind of sound effect they used in.
That she's in a magic psychic power thing again.
That's just rock and roll, isn't it? What she's doing.
It is. Yeah. She's expected to do like a Gene Simmons sticking her tongue out kind of.
Through her fingers? That would be just inappropriate for any Gran to do. I thought that was Linda Hamilton from the first Terminator movie for a minute or two. But that sound effect they use when she's running. Yeah. I'm sure some of the noises are used in Nightmare as well. I know it's all ITV, so probably was.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Using the superpower of using a phone.
And calling an operator, just to really age this some more.
Well, in Newcastle, phones are still relatively new technology.
That is true. That is very true. Why, aye, man? That is a Newcastle accent for anyone who's not sure. There he is.
Phones are probably confusing in Newcastle because the accent is hard enough to understand in person, let alone down a sort of magic electric box.
Why did they need this skimmer to steal the handful of money they got away with? What's she doing now?
I don't know. She's going to commit suicide.
Oh, that would have been amazing if she had.
And she's just jumping onto random things now. And
she's not very super, really, is she? Because the amount of mental preparation she needed before she took that jump is actually quite disappointing.
The worst use of the skimmer that they've stopped at a crossing, even though they were flying a couple of minutes ago, and could have just gone over the top of the bridge anyway and flown all the way back to wherever they wanted to go. But instead, Michael Elphick and the ape man from Never the Twain have decided to run across the bridge.
Oh, now Boone's never going to get his parcel there on time, or whatever it is he does. And they've got
silver bars. They don't look gold.
So what's her plan here?
To dump them into the river.
Why are they? It's not moving quickly enough for them to be so disorientated.
No.
And what, they're just going to... What?
They basically ran and jumped off the bridge.
I think clearly they're related to the scientist woman in that episode of Mask we watched. I'm just going to drive into the water. Oh, they got me. No, what's she doing? This is terrible.
So the Scunner's going to get away.
Well, he's a recurring villain, isn't he? He's like Supergran's Joker. Or Lex Luthor.
He's more... I would say he's more like the Lex Luthor from Superman Returns.
Oh, what a damning indictment of his supervillainy. Wrong!
I was just going to say... It's just him saying to the Geordie girl, say it.
Say it.
Supergran will... Wrong!
So maybe that fat kid is Supergran's son? This follows,
Let's hope so.
This follows the plot of Superman Returns, yeah?
I can only imagine it does.
So what have they stolen bars off? Oh no, Supergran foiled our plan by making the lift go down. When we were
And then up again, she's going to make them feel sick. Because it was established earlier that they don't like heights and felt sick on the skimmer, so...
Well, why are they going up in
she's
the
using
lift
their
then?
one weakness against them, their lack of equilibrium.
So a lift, going up and down in the lift is the Scunner Campbell's kryptonite. Just to keep this whole thing going. Oh, is there nothing that you canny do, like in the song? Well, they've got to be the worst villains ever put to film, haven't they, really?
I would imagine that other episodes of Supergran will find worse villains.
I kind of want to watch some other episodes of Supergran now.
Do you know, as much as we're mocking it, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to. This is weirdly, in a nostalgic way anyway, it's weirdly entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty terrible, but at the same time there's something quite nice about watching it again. At what point in his life, because Michael Elphick is dead now, may he rest in peace.
Is he? I didn't know.
Yeah, he got Rocky to courier his remains to the... Because he really bloated out near the end of his life and was really kind of, all throat.
Yeah.
He was all throat. Big old throat he had. Just wonder what happened.
Well, this must have been before or during Boone.
I would say it was around the same time as Boone. Yeah, I seem to remember Boone being on mid to late 80s. She's got her own helmet.
She's so fast.
She's so fast, even though she's running at exactly the same speed as all the others.
No, but she's got trails after her. She must be fast.
Oh, that was quite mean what he did to that kid then. I feel sorry for him. Actually, no, it's Ginger. Right. No, I don't. I take it back. Go, Supergran.
I really wanted her to just punt the ball over the houses so they couldn't get their ball back, and then them all go boo, boo, Supergran.
And then she just goes, fuck you.
But instead she just kicks it a sort of normal human distance.
Yeah, that goal doesn't count. You're not part of the school team. There she is having.
See that shot of her getting her power. She looks like a terrifying zombie.
Oh, but she's smiling.
She can drive quad bikes. Well, that's probably a quad bike actually, is it?
Gudrun, followed by Ian
Cuthbertson as the Scunner Campbell.
I bet he was a classically trained actor as well, that guy.
I expect so. This
Kenny
guy
West.
probably was.
Oh, Bill Shine. Just reading names now. Saw her pants then, I didn't like it.
Saw her pants. It wasn't, didn't like it. No.
Some stinking English kids. Ian? That's not a name.
Making up names now.
Names.
And that kid was just called Tub.
Yeah, these
because
two.
He was
the
fat.
Muscles, is that what they were called?
Oh yeah, because they're apparently stand-up comics.
He's not an old man. I thought he was a really old man, that's what I was remembering.
In the opening animation, the cartoon version of him, he looks a lot older.
I remember him being the skinhead character we're talking about now. I remember him being really quite old for some reason.
I suppose everybody was old because we were so young.
Well, yeah, maybe. I'm old now. I'm looked at as an old man.
Maybe someone will shoot a magic ray at you, and then you will be able to do things that a younger man could do, and also a psychic man could do.
Then there'll be nothing that I canny do. I long to be shot all over with a magic ray.
Yeah. Ray who?
I don't mind. So that was Supergran. What if you watched it with us?
Supergran.
Maybe let us know what you think. Well, don't. Whatever. Yeah, I mean, it brought back quite nostalgic memories. I don't know if I needed both of those words in that sentence. Quite a few memories of, coming home from school and Well, all of these shows, everything we've watched so far has, apart from Terrorhawks, which brought back memories of wetting my pants at a far older age than society allows. But it wasn't well written or well acted, but it was kind of fun watching it again.
I think, again, our simpler tastes probably let a lot of things slide. We wouldn't have, there wasn't much scope for filming superpowers anyway. No. So the fact that they added that weird glow around her when she supposedly ran faster and she did high jumps and things, and she's got her own version of, I know what I was thinking of now, she's got her own version of like the $6 Million Man sound, like when he would do a slow motion jump he would have that, and she's got something very similar when she's doing her slow motion jumps and or just jumping off of high things. And it coasted probably in our memories on the theme song.
I think a lot of these shows did,
because it sticks in your head. And also probably as geeky children, the fact that it name checks other superheroes helps.
And Mr. T.
And Mr. T, yeah.
Batman and Robin too.
And actually it's quite a good follow-on to the one that we watched last time as well, because it's Stand Back, Superman, Iceman, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No Firestar though, because she is not good. But then that is Iceman. So
Iceman's pretty crap as well. He's always one of the worst X-Men in my eyes. But yeah, it wasn't. It's certainly not the worst thing I've ever watched.
No, I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't.
A rousing thumb halfway up from when Wagon Wheels were bigger.
A rousing. What is that? It?
No.
We like Siskel and Ebert now. One thumb up.
Yes.
One thumb kind of half-heartedly, not up, kind of resting on something.
One thumb reaching for the YouTube stop button.
Yeah, that's how we. The French and Palmer, one thumb reaching for the YouTube stop button up.
System.
We hope you like that.
It's
system.
Catchy.
It'll catch on, I'm sure.
It's so very British. It made me think, I suppose, because of the sort of Geordie accents and stuff. It does make me think of Viz. And, the name Chiselton. I don't know why. It's got no other real links apart from the.
It does sound like it though, and kind of. I think a character like Supergran is the kind of thing they probably would have done, obviously with more, swearing.
Viz, for anyone who doesn't know, is whilst it's already it is an imprint of manga comics and things, but it is also more commonly in the UK known as a comic for, I say grown-ups, an adult comic full of cartoon characters that just sort of swear a lot, and
it's incredibly childish, but still in its prime was very amusing.
But the letters page is always worth reading, and is probably the funniest thing.
And the top tips are always good as well.
And top tips part of the letters page, yeah.
Basically, had characters like Johnny Fartpants, Buster Gonads and his unfeasibly large testicles, and of course, probably the most famous were the Fat Slags, I suppose. I don't know.
I suppose so. Yeah, Roger Melly, the man on the telly.
Yeah, the Fat Slags had an awful movie version with Dolph Lundgren in, bizarrely.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. It took me a while. I haven't watched the film, but I've seen bits of it because it was on TV when I was kind of on. I was flicking through and I thought, that's familiar. And then I realised, oh my God, it was Dolph Lundgren, and he looked ill in that. I mean, I've seen he's been in the Expendables movies. He looks kind of like Dolph Lundgren in those movies, but it's almost like he managed to do something to his face so it didn't quite look like him. So maybe people wouldn't recognise that he just would take money for anything.
Just bashed his head into a wall a few times so nobody would associate him with the Fat Slags film. Live
action movie.
I'd forgotten that they did that.
God knows why they did it.
Somebody somewhere thought that would make money. That's the only reason to do it.
If there's any character that would make a good live action, not film necessarily, but show, I say it would be Roger Melly.
Yeah, because you could do loads with that, and with a decent like sort of deadpan comedian.
Yeah, every week a different show format he's decided to come up with or bastardise, so he could be doing a normal show and then what it turns into. That could work.
Well, it really could.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Take that, you Scottish twat.
Yeah, because was that was
Peter Cook. Yeah.
wasn't it, that did Roger Melly?
I want to watch those again.
Animated
I wonder if
version.
they're on YouTube. Let's watch those next.
All right, we won't record it. We'll just go and watch those instead.
Yeah, I think we should.
Actually, they probably were in the 80s, but they're not kid shows.
They're not kid shows
by any means.
I didn't watch them until the 90s. I'm fairly sure of that. As I had a subscription to Viz from about the age of 12, which is,
It's about right though.
It's
about the age that it.
not on my part, on my parents' part.
It's about the age that it's sort of acceptable to be laughing quite as much. But then, I get the Viz book every year, the collected version, because I just read the letters pages really, and then every now and again go back and read a couple of strips from it.
It's a good toilet read,
things
isn't
like,
it?
It is.
Let's face
but
it.
it's things like Jack Black. Is that what it is? Where the guy who's the one with the bin bag? And it's like a. Yeah,
he's just got
the sort of
pet bin bag.
more serious, the more seriously drawn.
They're like Famous Five
strips.
kind of rip-offs. Because there's the one with the guy with his dog, isn't there? A kid with his. There's one with bin bag.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Because is there one that does have a dog as well?
I think Jack Black has the border collie, and always ends up foiling some plot, but
then joins in or something.
Joins in, or there are nods to how racist and small-minded the town are, and they're victimising somebody just because they're different or they're from another country, or
because there's one I remember where they capture a German pilot,
yeah,
and then at the end it turns out he's a synthesizer, and the last shot is him having dinner with Hitler. So it's very funny.
Go and read Viz if you haven't heard of it. Just pick up an issue. I'm sure you must be able to get it if you're not in the UK. There must be ways of getting it.
I'm sure there is.
I think a lot of it is probably unreadable because strips like Biffa Bacon, which are written phonetically in the Newcastle accent, are impenetrable.
They are, definitely, to anyone outside of the UK.
You have to read them out loud just to understand what's being said. Which brings us back, I suppose, to Supergran and the impenetrable Geordie accents of the children.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it wasn't terrible. It was pretty much what I expected it to be. But then you said you've watched it quite recently on TV anyway.
Well, I said it wasn't recently. It would have been whenever this old school weekend was, and I think it's got to have been at least 3 years ago.
Was this something that, did you say your children watched with you?
Oh no, they'd find it terrible.
Would they not enjoy it at all?
No, I don't think we watched this together. I seem to remember watching it with Deb, actually. Just kind of reminiscing about all the stuff we used to watch. So like I said, it had this, Spats, Danger Mouse, A Fun House, because it wasn't just the 80s stuff they were showing. It was
just all the old classic stuff, wasn't it?
Finders Keepers, anything that I think was made by them or in association with them. So none of the American stuff that they would have bought, or the European stuff. It was all the British homemade kind of Cosgrove Hall kind of, that kind of thing. But it's quite entertaining, like newer stuff like NG Benji and things. Which looks like it's been uploaded by Dylan Fagan. I'm guessing it's all the stuff that was on that old school weekend. Looking at it up by the side.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thanks, Dylan Fagan. Art Attack.
In your esteemed, knowledgeable capacity as the expert of such things on this show, who was the Scrappy-Doo of Supergran?
Well, it's got to be the girl, hasn't it? The ginger girl. There's no doubt about that in any shape or form.
I agree.
Because she seemed like a bit of a have-a-go, kind of shaking her fists. She seemed superfluous to the show, much like Scrappy-Doo. And she had an annoying voice because it was Geordie.
It's a bit, because every time I think at least twice in that episode, somebody remarks, "Oh no, not her," when they see the Scrappy-Doo girl. I can't even remember her name.
No, I can't either.
And also, just a big tradition now. Who did you have a favourite character in Supergran?
Well, I imagine as a kid it probably was Supergran, but watching it now. I'd have to say Boone.
I will choose his ape man from Never the Twain Accomplice.
Yeah, that's his full name.
Yeah,
that's what he's called. See,
it would be so easy to look him up, and I'm just not going to bother.
I can't bother. I think he's dead as well.
Probably.
Everyone
associated with Never the Twain is.
Since broadcasting that show, everyone associated with it has died. And on that note, that's us finishing up on Supergran. So if you want to,
I think we should.
Please follow us on Twitter at Spread the Whimsy, and you can also go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/toomuch.jam. I can remember off the top of my head now who's the winner now. Me. I win.
It is you.
And also we've got the YouTube channel where eventually these episodes go up with the accompanying video, so you can watch along if you so wish. So subscribe to that too, and obviously subscribe to our iTunes account.
Yeah, please do subscribe and subscribe and rate us and comment and whatever else that other people ask you to do at the end of podcasts, because apparently it's a good thing.
Yeah, just do stuff that makes us happy.
What it does. Just so we can have more than single digits downloading us.
Yeah, just give us a happy ending.
Come on, what's wrong with you? Why won't you do it?
Happy ending.
Do it.
Do it.
So I suppose that will take us to our own ending for this episode.
Which, I'd just like to clarify, was not a happy one in any other sense.
No, it could be. It could be. Why won't you let me?
Because we're 8 miles apart at the moment. So it'd be
Just
a literal stretch.
Find a picture of Gudrun Ure in her prime and just go for it.
We'll see where the night takes me, alright?
Alright, well, thank you for listening if you made it through this far, and hope we'll see you again next week for another episode.
Okay, cheerio.
Thanks then. Bye.
Bye.